Start us up in a moment. Okay. Warrior Sages, I have a very special guest today. This is my longtime friend, has been a mentor, a buddy, a person who really helped break open my work in the world. This is Harv Eker. Harv Eker has been known. He's the author of Millionaire Mind. He's the creator. He started Peak Potentials over 20 years ago. In fact, Harv, when I first met you, you were just starting out Peak Potentials. You had come to Toronto to give a training on money, and I came and I was blown away. I was like, who's this man who can get everyone totally engaged, take spiritual wisdoms and bring them right down to earth so we can apply them, bring the great wisdoms of the world in a very applicable, direct way. And I was blown away by your capacity to interact. And over the years, I've seen you do that with 100 people in the room, then 500, then 1,000, then 10,000. And then it's been such an incredible journey seeing your growth and your impact in the world. So I'm very grateful for you being here today. One other story I want to let everyone know before I jump in with you is you actually gave me my big break 20 years ago. And you invited me to lead a particular piece in your warrior camp, enlightened warrior training called The Predicament. And you co-created a piece with me, which just went viral and still going on around the world. And I want to thank you from my heart for the great opportunity you gave me all those years and your support of myself, my mission, my family. So you've been a great inspiration and a good friend. Thanks for being here with all of us today, Harv.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay? Is that all right?
We hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. I don't see any microphones or anything, so we're all good.
It's us.
All right. Well, listen, my honor to be here with you. One of the reasons that we came together, whatever, 20 years ago, was because you were the best in the business at what you did. And I still believe that to this day. One day we're going to have a reunion.
Yes.
Bring all the old guard back and blow everybody away. This is what it's supposed to look like.
Yes.
It's watered down after 20 years, you know what I'm saying?
I think, this is perfect for what we're talking about because, you initiated this whole profound training. Millionaire Mind Intensive was an entry into the whole gamut of your wisdom trainings. What I was really moved by was you not only spoke from the stage, you put people through experiences that were mind-blowing, that bonded us in ways that still communities around the world are serving and supporting and bonding with each other. I'd love to know from you, what was the most important lessons in these 20 years of being a human potential leader, a luminary in this world?
Most important lessons for what?
For you, for you as a man.
For me personally?
Yeah.
Or for the students and the participants?
For both, but I'd like to know for you personally first.
Well, I think it's still the same as it always has been. When I was about, I think, 19, 20 years old, I took my first seminar, personal development seminar, and it was by a good friend of mine, John Kehoe, wrote a book called Mind Power, and that blew me wide open. I mean, I had no idea that my mind was that powerful. I had no idea that, especially that, that I could in some way control or master my mind. I'm going to share with you a story because it's you. I've never shared this ever in my life, okay? So I hope that it's okay. I don't want this to go too much further other than your group, basically. But when I was, I think I was 16 or 17, I knew I couldn't get into bars where I was, because I think the age was 19. Maybe I was 18 or something like that. It's a long time ago. So I got to be honest. I did my first LSD trip, and today those psychedelic elements are very profound. And I can say to everyone that probably in the next 10 years, the way cannabis has been legalized, those psychedelic drugs will probably be legalized also for particular use. They're being used all over for different types of purposes with some of the major doctors in the world, for people who have addictions, for people who are in hospices, And it's completely radically transforming treatment for these people and for others too. So I'm not a proponent of LSD, and I'm not against it, because when I did it, it was a experiment, and the experiment went incredibly well. So what happened for me, the reason I'm mentioning it, is because when I was on this hallucinogen, I was very conscious that I was doing things and thinking things that were not normal for me. But my mind kept saying, but I kept saying to myself, it was like, okay, who's doing this? Like, I kept watching myself doing things that were a little strange and thinking things like, like they say, the trees are melting and the park bench is 15 feet high that I had to climb up on. And it was like, this is so weird. But I was watching myself think these things. Yeah. And I never did that before, obviously. So what happened was I really recognized at that time, I kept on saying to myself, which one of me is thinking this? Which one of me is doing this? Like, is it me or is there another me? And I know it sounds a bit strange, but it was the first time I separated myself from my mind. There was the me, I call it the true self, or the base self, or the core self. And then there was the mind doing its thing. And it was doing really weird and wacky things. But I was watching it doing weird and wacky things. And I was just like laughing and going, oh my God, look what you're doing now. Like, that's crazy. Or look what you're thinking now. I'll bet you that thing's not melting. Maybe it is, but who knows? Because I was observing myself. Now today, we call that the observer position or the witness position. And I deal with that every day in my work, in my life, watching my own thoughts. So nothing has changed from that time. But it was the first time that I separated myself from my mind. And if you ask me what's the biggest thing that has occurred for me in my life, and what the biggest thing that I teach other people, hopefully, to be able to recognize, is that you are not your mind. Is that inner voice inside of you that's babbling and chattering and thinking and telling you all this stuff isn't you. And that you have the opportunity, and I have the opportunity, to hear that, listen to it, but not act on it. I have a program, talk about a little bit later, it's been extremely popular. It's a webinar. It's called Don't Believe a Thought You Think. I'll say it again. Don't believe a thought you think. And people go like, what do you mean? Of course. Why would I not believe myself? And the answer is because it's not you. It's not yourself. It's a conditioned, programmed, fear-based, survival-based, protective-based part of you that isn't you. You wouldn't say, oh, this hand, this is me. There you go. Hi, how are you? I'm my hand. No, your hand is a part of you and a very important part of you, but you certainly wouldn't say it is you. And it's the same with those thoughts and your mind. They are a part of you. They are an important part of you, but people believe, unfortunately, that it is them. And because they believe it is them, they have to believe it and they have to act and think based on those thoughts. And they don't really understand that those thoughts are not you, and they're usually not supportive to either happiness or success. And if we can separate ourselves from those thoughts and let those thoughts run and observe them, then we have a what? A choice. Keyword, everybody, a what? A choice as to whether we want to entertain those thoughts at this time and allow them to propagate in our mind. And again, those thoughts are generally coming from a mind that is a survival-based mechanism. Its job is to protect you. Its job is not to make you happy. It's not to make you successful. It's not to put you into love, as you so well teach. It's not to do anything really positive except for keep you alive. And so you're based in just a core protective fear. I call it the bodyguard. In the webinar, it's called the bodyguard. So people say, well, wait a minute, it's my bodyguard. I mean, why wouldn't it be doing good? Well, I'm not saying it's not doing good. I'm saying it's doing its job. So let's say you hired a bodyguard and you paid $500 a day for this bodyguard. because you believe, why would you hire a bodyguard? Because you believe, well, you're in some danger maybe, or maybe you have a lot of money, or you need, whatever protection from something else, right? So you hire a bodyguard and you're going to walk into the room. You say, okay, I want to go into that room. And what's the bodyguard's job? Is the bodyguard job to go in the room and go, oh, look how pretty this room is. Wow, look how high the ceilings are. I love the shutters and the drapes. They're so Italian. It's so beautiful here. And look how good. Oh, the flooring's great. This is a great room. Come on in. Is that what the bodyguard's going to do? No. The bodyguard's going to look at the room and go, where is there what? Danger. Someone could be hiding there. Is there any taps or devices over here that I could look at? Let's look underneath this. What's that made out of? Could there be a bomb here? Right? What if? Always looking for what? What's wrong, or what could go wrong in any and all situations. That's what you hired that bodyguard for. Yes or yes? And it's doing its job really well. So why would you be surprised when the bodyguard is always negative? Why would you be surprised when the bodyguard is always looking for what's wrong or what could go wrong and pointing out the problems with anything? Why would you be surprised? That's its job. And so you ask me that question, that's my answer. The separation between me and my thoughts, not necessarily believing those thoughts, and being able to have a choice as whether I'm going to take those thoughts and entertain them, and whether those thoughts are supportive to me or not. Long answer, right?
Thank you, Harv. Bang on, bang on. That protective mind, the bodyguard, is constantly doing this, whether we're even conscious of it or not. The idea, as you're inviting us to do, is become really present to that. Now, that leads us into, we are in a very unique time on the planet. 2020 has been a tumultuous year. We've got politics, we've got racial issues, we've got COVID and all of that. There's a lot of uncertainty that folks are feeling. Financial uncertainty, world uncertainty, societal uncertainty, which again are thoughts, but I would love to hear your expression, perhaps ways that we can deal with this, work with this energy. And what's your truth and understanding of what's going on right now, please?
Well, all I can tell you is the way I do my best to deal with it. I can't really speak for anybody else and what they do and how they live their lives, but there are a lot of people who are living in fear right now. And people go, well, justifiably so. That's great. You can justify anything you want. And no one is saying to put blinkers on and blinders on and say, oh, what COVID? Oh, what social unrest? Oh, what riots? No one's saying to do that. But to the extent that these elements, these exterior situations affect you, affect your relationships, affect your happiness, affect your moods, affect your finances, affect your business, all those things is not up to it, it's up to you. So if you decide that, oh, because of COVID, I'm feeling this, because of the social unrest, I'm feeling this, because of the politics, I'm feeling this, because no. It's because of your interpretation and translation of those exterior situations that you are feeling this, not because of it. So knowing that we all have different interpretations of things. I mean, let's just be honest. I think we're being live here. So tonight, I believe, is a debate, at least in America, with Biden and Trump. Some people absolutely, I talk to people who, when you say the word Donald Trump, they're nauseous. They're ready to throw up. They can't even think that name without getting crazy. I talk to other people who love him. He's the savior. He's the God. He's the Christ. He's what's changing this country for the better. It's like, well, how could that be? It's the same guy.
That's right.
So who's right and who's wrong? And the answer is there is no right and wrong. There's only your interpretation of what is. All right. So there's what is. That is what is. And I'm going to say this right up front. Everything that is neutral until we get there. And then with our mind, we interpret it, we affect it or infect it, and then it goes, and then it becomes what it is to us. So what I say, and again, in this don't believe it, thought you think element, and in my current teachings, it's like, so you have a beaker, and it's clear water. It's neutral, right? A beaker of water, it's clear. And then a situation occurs. And so now there's a situation occurs it pours, so it's clear water, and it pours, that's the situation. And now it pours into a filter. And the filter is red, okay? Full of red dye. So now when it comes out that filter, what color is the water? It's red. Is it red because of the water? The original water? No, it's red because of the filter. Or we have a blue filter. We pour the same clear water in. What color does the water become? It becomes blue. Is it because the water was blue? No, the water was never blue. The water was always neutral. But the filter made it the color it is. Me and you and everyone watching or listening to this, we all have our own filters. It's called our mind. It's called our beliefs that were programmed into us. And so we believe what we believe. We have our way of thinking that was taught to us. I'm going to say it again. As we know, taught to us, programmed into us, conditioned into us. That's the way we think. That becomes our blue or our red or green or orange or pink or maroon or whatever our thought patterns are. And then we believe that the water was that color. But the water was never that color. So what does this allow you to do? Again, it allows you to move away. It allows you to separate yourself from the situations and say, the situation is neutral. Donald Trump is neutral. Joe Biden is neutral. Democrats are neutral. Republicans are neutral until I get there. And then I make them what they are. The COVID virus is neutral. It is a virus, okay? It gets people sick. It kills people. Some people don't have any symptoms. Some people think the whole thing's a sham. Some people are still in their house, locked down, and haven't come out for 6 months or whatever that is. So why is it all different? Because the COVID virus is a virus, okay? Now, should you be afraid that you're going to die? Well, I think you should have the yellow light on. That to me, that's my mind's job. My mind's job is to be the alert, like yellow light, yellow light, yellow light. Keep an eye on this, but don't let it take you out of your life.
Yes.
Don't let it turn you in from this big to a little shrimpy person that's meek and scared and afraid to live. Because I'm telling you right now, the way I look at things in my mind is that, one of the things we taught in one of our other programs, Wizard Training, if you recall,
absolutely.
There's 3 elements. There's resistance, and resistance, there's acceptance. So all pain comes from resistance to what is. But what is, everybody, is what you bring to it. What your mind, your filter brings to it. That's what it is. It isn't anything until you get there. And then with your mind and your interpretation, you make it something. And then you react to the something, not to the it. I hope I'm not being too crazy and too deep here.
It's perfect. Perfect. You're in the right crowd. You're in the right crowd.
Right. So we're all reacting to ourselves. You are reacting to you and your own mind. You are not reacting to the situation.
Yes.
Got it? That's the critical thing, that separation that goes, oh, this is happening. So someone says, well, people are dying. Yes, they are. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? I guess you'd have to ask them, right? I mean, some people who are in really rough shape go, thank God I'm gone. Not most probably, but other people going, oh my God, this is terrible. So, and then, and that's taking the worst case scenario, in some societies in Africa, when you die, it's the biggest blessing. Isn't it in the Muslim world? If you die, you go to Allah, it's a big blessing. If you're a suicide bomber, it's a bigger blessing. So there is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's the it, and then there's what you bring to it and what you believe in, and that's what you're reacting to. So what I believe in is that we need to master our own life. So if you want to be a shriveled up little, ant who's scared to death to go out now and scared, and every day you're feeling nervous and fearful, and it's destroying your health and it's destroying your happiness and destroying your relationships, what good is that doing you? What good is that? But Harv, you don't get it. There's COVID out there. I got it. Why are you the one shriveled up and nervous and the guy next to you is not? Well, because they don't understand. Okay, there you go. It's you who are making you crazy. I'm saying it again. You make yourself crazy. I make myself crazy. I know that because I do it every day, 20 times a day. And 20 times a day, I catch myself saying, Harv, take a chill pill. What are you doing here? Okay, you're buying into this thing right now? Like right now, because of the election, I've been doing most of last night and this morning, I've been working on my stock portfolio. Now you say, what does that have to do with anything? Well, because when I'm looking at that and going, okay, right now, personally, I'm going to be selling a lot of stuff and putting stop losses on a lot of stuff because I personally believe that between the now and the election and possibly, depending on what happens, shortly afterwards, we're not in for a very pleasant upswing, okay? But I could be totally wrong. I was wrong in March when I sold a lot of stuff and I shouldn't have. So I was wrong, right? But now I bought a lot of it back, didn't make as much money as I could have, but I lost a shitload of money.
Well, in fact,
what? Because of the market? No, because of me.
If we look at the last pandemic, 1918 and such, there was the roaring 20s that came up right after this contraction. Everyone was in fear, taking care of themselves, staying at home. And after everything, the economy blew up, fanfare, the celebration of life. So that's also an interpretation and translation that we can live into and be as well.
Right. So the question is, why do you live into your interpretation? Because you were taught to think that way. However, you were taught by other people and other situations, and they're not necessarily relevant in this moment. So in this moment, everybody, that's the critical thing. What is consciousness? Consciousness is being able to have choice in the present moment versus being run by habitual thought patterns from the past, conditioning from the past. That is what consciousness is, at least in my definition. I'm conscious right now, which means this moment is a new moment. I can be who I want to be in this moment. I can have thoughts that I choose to think. The real I, that I choose to entertain in this moment. When I am having thoughts that do not support my success and my happiness and my relationships, and especially my relationship with myself, then I can choose in this moment to let go of those thoughts because they're not helping me. Harv, is that fair? Are you allowed to do that? I mean, those thoughts came in. Right. All kinds of crappy thoughts come in all the time. If you we said earlier that your mind is not you. So if it's another entity, let's call it, that's living in your sphere of life, and you had a person who talked to you all day long the way your mind talks to you for the most part, this is bad, that's bad, this is going to go wrong, you should be afraid of this, and that, don't do that. No. What would you say to them? At some point in time, when you get tired of that person, go, get the hell out of my life. You are destroying it. Leave, okay? But with their own mind, we go, nah, this is just me. It's not you. It's a trained mind, a trained bodyguard who, by the way, we'll get a little deeper here, who, by the way, says what it says to you to keep you paralyzed so that you can stay in your quote unquote comfort zone, whatever little box that is, or bigger box, so that you don't move into the unfamiliar territory where it can't protect you or it feels it can't protect you. So it's always trying to keep you in this little box that it's comfortable with. It says you're comfortable with, but no, it's not you, it's it's comfortable with. And so here we are believing all this stuff and not recognizing that between COVID and social unrest and the riots and the politics and the markets and the businesses that are going out of business and the people lose their job, that itself has an effect on you. And what I'm here to tell you or invite you to consider is that none of that has an effect on you. It has an effect on your mind. Your mind interprets it, and now you have an effect.
Yes.
If your mind interpreted it differently, you would have a completely different effect and a completely different mood, set of happiness, success, looking for opportunities. Here's a great example. I see we're on Zoom meeting right now. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I live in Lake Tahoe in the summer. We live in a country club where there's some very, 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 very high-end people who are super people. We got to know them even, we were kind of bubbled in for 4 months in this club. Yeah. And it was so weird because people are going, oh my God, COVID is the worst. And it's so funny that literally everyone we spoke to there was going, how's your summer? How are you going? This is the best summer I've ever had. This is the greatest summer ever. What? Yeah, you have to wear a mask. Yeah, the gym's not open more than a couple hours a day, and there's only 3 people allowed in at the time. Yeah, yeah. But so what? You know what? Normally, these people are very popular, and they have a lot of company people. They have a lot of friends. They have a lot of family. They have a big, huge house with 8 bedrooms of people. And this year, there was no guests allowed. No guests allowed in the club. So here's what happened. Everyone came from the cities like San Francisco and LA to get out of those places, especially the Bay Area and Sacramento, to the club. So there was literally there's 400 members and 300 were there all the time for the whole summer. And guess what? We got to know so many more people. And there's such great people. I got to learn so much. Made some great connections, great investment situations, great business situations, great friendships, because for the first time we've been there for 13 years, we got to meet everybody there instead of saying, oh, Bob, do you want to go out with your wife for dinner next Saturday? No, we have family up. How about the Saturday after that? No, we have friends up. How about that Saturday? No, we're traveling to Europe. You see them for 20 minutes after golf on a Wednesday. That's the term of your friendship because everyone's so busy. But because of COVID, there was no choice. It was like a commune, a family of really amazing, incredible people. So watching them and how they handle it. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because one of my better friends is one of the top, I'm going to say top guys in Apple. And one of his closest friends is the top 2 guys in Zoom, the founders of Zoom. And we were talking about how they went from mere millionaires, a few months ago, to gazillionaires in a couple of months. And how did that happen? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was the same virus that everybody is saying, this is the worst thing in the world. So what happened? Well, their attitude and their mentality was, oh my God, we need a way to communicate. We're going to jump in with both feet. We're going to make Zoom a verb. Now it's a verb like Google. We're going to Google it. We're going to Zoom meeting it, right? And we're going to help solve this problem for a lot of people that they can't communicate anymore. Can't see anybody, right? So we're going to help solve that problem. They solved the problem, help solve it. I know it's going on internally because he tells me, and his son works for them, is a very high up rank there. So we talk to them every week. We know it's happening internally. They're killing it, and they're going to continue. Notice their stock keeps going up. It's like, how could that happen? Especially since lately the stock's how is that? Because you should see the stuff they're coming up with. I'm not supposed to mention things, but huge things. Huge. Have you heard of a 2 million person Zoom call? Well,
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So they're taking advantage of this as an opportunity. And the question is, well, how are you dealing with the COVID virus? How are you dealing with it? Is it shuddering you into oblivion where you go, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm losing my job. I'm losing my business. Have you considered that there's people who have problems like yourself during this time? And by the way, how do we make money? This is something we should talk about, Satyen.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of people I'm not sure what you're talking about with your other guests and stuff, but a lot of people, they don't understand money at all. They think, you say, where do you get all your money from? They go, I get my money from the universe. I get my money from the sky. I get my money from God. I get my money from the bank. I get my money from my job. I get my money from my business. I get my money from the tree, from the cat. No, you don't get any money from any of those things. Okay? The only entity on this planet or any other planet that I know of, and this is very important, everybody. So make sure you get this really solid, okay? Because this could change your life. I really believe that. It changed my life. It's changed tens of thousands of my students' lives. The only place you get any money is the only entity that uses a thing called money, a currency, is people. So all your money has to come from who? Other people. It's not yourself giving you your money, it's other people. All right, good question. Why would anybody give you their hard-earned money? Well, why would you give anybody your hard-earned money? Because they are what? Listen closely, everyone. Solving a big or little problem for you. That's why you give them your money. So if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to make money, what do you have to do? Solve a problem for someone. Support them, help them in an arena that they're willing to pay for, right? Whether that's entertainment, whether that's life or death situations, whether it's communication, whether it's beauty, and my landscape guy didn't come yesterday and now look what's overground. Hey, get over here. I need you. I have company coming over. I got a big problem. Fix this lawn, man. So it's always solving a problem. So here we are with a problem, lots of problems happening in the world. And what does that mean? That means there's problems to be solved. And who's going to solve them? Well, it better be you. It better be you, because if it's you, you're going to become a gazillionaire. And even if you're just do well, you turn things around and you reverse course and you do something different. Okay, this is what's currently going on in the world that I can help people with. So in your case, Satyen, and possibly in my case, I've never been busier. I mean, we're doing online stuff, and it's like people are asking every day, how do we handle our mental health? How do we handle our money? Well, I've been semi-retired for a lot of years, and all of a sudden I've come out of semi-retirement because everyone's asking me to help out a little bit like this, okay? So I feel like if I can be of service to people like this, my rewards will come. And that's another thing, everybody. If you want to make a lot of money, don't focus on money. Don't focus on, if you want to get wealthy, don't focus on wealth, because money is a result. Wealth is a result. Well, Harv, a result of what? A result of what? A result of helping people solve a problem. For helping them, you get a reward. It's called money, okay? No helpo, no money-o, okay? Got it? So take your mind off of money, put your mind on the helping people in a semi-intelligent business manner, right? Yes. And the result is you get rewarded with something called money. So Harv, I have another program, by the way, called The Good Millionaire. And I think it's an ebook now that you can get on my website. The Good Millionaire, how to make a lot of money and help a lot of people. How to make a lot of money and help a lot of people. So how do you do that? Well, again, we said that the money is a result. And it's a result of helping people solving problems, right? All right, so I'm going to put it very bluntly for everybody. Would anybody here like to know how to make a lot of money? Anybody? Yes? No?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay. I said a lot of money, right? How do you make a lot of money? Very simple. Well, let's go back a few sentences. How do you make any money? By what? Solving one problem for one person. And you make 1 unit of money, okay? $100, $10, $1,000, yeah, whether it's worldwide, pesos, I don't care what. You solve one problem for one person, you get 1 unit of money for solving that problem, right? Now, that's how you make money. How do you make some money? You solve one problem, watch that, make sure it's one problem at the beginning, not some problems, one problem at the beginning. One problem for some people, Yes. And then you get what? Some money.
Yes.
How do you make a lot of money? Duh. You solve that one problem for what? A lot of people. And then you get what? A lot of money. How easy is this? So if you want to make a lot of money, freaking help a lot of people, duh. But do it in a semi-intelligent business manner. Simple.
Bang on, Harv. Bang on. Share with us you have a webinar that that you're putting on. Can you share more about that?
Yeah, it's it's the webinar is called, again, Don't Believe a Thought You Think. I think personally it's the most profound information and way of discussing the mind that I've put out pretty well in my lifetime. So I put it out because there were constantly people who were literally destroying their lives with their own mind. And literally, I think almost all of us do that to some extent. I am included in that. When I am not happy, fully happy, I know it's my mind doing its thing, okay? When I'm in fear, I know it's my mind. When I'm not looking at the positives in life, when I'm not looking at things in a way that it's supportive, it's my mind. Your mind will take you out of everything good and make it bad. Because I'm going to say this bluntly, you're not going to like this. Your mind doesn't want you to be successful. Your mind doesn't want you to be happy. Your mind wants to keep you in the little box where it can safeguard you like its job is to do. So that's why it's always doubting you. It's always worrying. It's always fear-based. It's always coming up with, this is why I can't, and this is why I shouldn't, and this is why I'm limited, and I can't really do that, and I don't really know that, and I shouldn't do that. All of this stuff that you hear in your own mind isn't accurate, but it's what you were taught to do. So this webinar is about fully understanding that, and then most importantly, what the heck do you do about it? How do you master your own mind? How do you tame your mind so you can master your life? How do you literally understand that the only thing that's stopping you is enemy number one, which is your own mind? And then how do you, one of the things that we deal with there is we have a 4 magic words to basically stop negative thoughts or negative beliefs and stop them from getting any momentum. Because here's the thing, everyone, and Satyen, you know this as best as anybody. It's like a river, right? So you have a little thought, and don't forget your bodyguard and your sentry on the ship that's looking for danger. That's your mind. And you think, well, I think some really good thoughts. I think, not nice thoughts. Yes, you do, for a time being. Yeah. And so you'll say to yourself, here's what happened to me this morning. So I got an email about a situation that's happening in my house in Maui. I have a farm in the back of my house, and it's supposed to be, finished by now and cleaned up and all that. So a situation happened this morning whereby, again, the landscaper was here, but he didn't do what he was supposed to do. So when I was talking to the landscaper that was here, I'm in San Diego right now, and I was talking to him, and everything was fine. And we're talking about kids and this and that, and everything was great. And I said, "What a nice guy." And you know what? I'm gonna be pretty what's the word here? Controversial here. He's a Mexican guy, and I like him a lot. And one of the reasons I like him a lot is because he's not afraid to work hard. And I believe, in my mind, my crazy ass mind, I believe if you want to succeed, you need to work hard, and need to be okay with working hard. I'm not a big lover of entitled people situation. Them themselves great, the way they think, not so great. Why? Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the real world. No one's going to just give you a shitload of money and go, here you go, here's $1 million, enjoy yourself. It ain't happening for 99% of us. So what's your answer? If you're waiting for that, you're going to wait a long time. Or just say, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be successful. And that's okay with me. I am totally good with anybody and everybody saying, I'm a minimalist. I don't need a lot to live on. I don't need a lot of money to be happy. I don't care about that stuff. It's not important to me. I love you. But don't say to me, I want to be rich. I want to live a first-class life, as in the normal definition. I want to be able to travel in the world the way I like to. I want to be able to have what I want. I want to be able to take care of the people that I want to in a certain way. I want to have a lot of money. And then say, but I don't want to work. Because to me, that's just, those are black and white. They just don't go together. I'm going, this person will never get it. This person doesn't have it together, okay? So that bothers me. So I like him because he's Mexican and he works his ass off. And I'm always referring him, and I love that about certain people because I believe in it, okay? And I'm bringing that up because in my mind going, you know what? Benjamin is the nicest guy. I even said this to Michelle. Benjamin's the nicest guy. He has his family. We should, you know what? We're ordering pizza tomorrow night. We should order an extra pizza when he comes back, and so he can take it back to his family. He's such a nice guy. I've seen his kids work with him once in a while. His older kid. What a nice guy he is. And then I'm sitting I start doing my back exercises, and I'm thinking, dude, I wish everybody had that work ethic who wanted to make it. It sure would be easier for them. You know, I wouldn't have to keep on yakking and try to ingrain it into people who just don't get it. I just wish that they would all have that work ethic. It just bugs me that people feel so entitled that they think it. And you know what? There's a freaking war on the rich now. It's like rich people are bad. You doesn't matter that you worked for 30 years slaving away. You were careful. You were smart. You gave people jobs. You gave people opportunities. You gave people all these other things, and you worked your ass off, and the reward you got for helping people was you got quite a bit of money. Now they just want to take it from us? Just tax it from us? Tax this, tax a wealth tax. Okay, did you just see what happened to me? What happened to, Benjamin is such a nice guy. His kids we should get him a pizza. What just happened? Did you see everyone how that happened? And I wasn't faking it at all. Every time I talk about this is how I get. Okay, now, am I supposed to be more enlightened than that? Yup. Am I? Nope. I'm enlightened. My mind is not. Okay. The enlightened part of me goes, hey. And then I go, all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute here, Harv. Does this sound happy? No. Okay. Do you want to be happy right now, or do you want to be upset? Thank you. I want to be upset. Good notice. See, that was my true self.
Yes.
Being able to notice my conditioned mind doing its thing. Okay. And go, hey, hold on. We have some choices here. So now I'm able to look at that. I have methodology that I'll teach people on the webinar as to how to notice when you're out of sorts quickly so that it doesn't gain what? Momentum, because everything is what, everybody? Energy, yes or yes? And since it's all energy, what? Travels in its frequencies of vibrations, but it all has momentum. Remember? The law of momentum. A body in motion will tend to remain in motion. A body at rest will tend to remain at rest, right? And so that energy will continue its own momentum, and that negative downturn will continue and get worse. And yeah, you might have some things that disturb it, like, something good happens for a minute, or you're eating now and somebody says something funny, whatever. But eventually go right back down to it. And people that have a shitty life are the people who that momentum keeps carrying them down and down and down and down and down, which is what has happened with COVID and all this political shit and all this other stuff. It's just momentum carrying down. So what to do? You have got to stop the energy quickly. Very quickly. You have to become great, a master at noticing the bodyguard doing its thing, and boom, with 4 words and a very easy strategy, that's taken care of, and you're back to center again. And Satyen, of anybody I know, you're probably the most profound person in this arena of being able to come back to center quickly. And so you're good at it, which is why everyone looks at Satyen and goes, man, that guy is solid. He's solid. He doesn't get taken out, waver too much, right? And you look at a guy like me and I'm like all over the place, right? But that's okay. That's my personality. I didn't say it was me. It's my personality, my mind. But I come back to center probably, I'm just going to guess, much more frequently than a guy like Satyen has to, because he's just in center a lot. I'm not. Now, if you're enlightened like Satyen, you probably don't need anything that I'm talking about. But if you're like, your mind is constantly babbling, chattering, very often telling you things that are making you feel a little irritated. By the way, that's how you know it's your mind doing its thing. When you feel a touch agitated, a touch irritated, a touch not fully joyous, expansive, courageous, loving, as you teach so often, Satyen. When you feel anything other than that, it's the enemy that has gotten in, and it got in for just a second. How do you deal with it? And how you deal with it makes all the difference in the world as to whether you will be happy, whether you'll be loving, and most importantly of this nature, whether you will ever be as successful as you want to be. Will you lead the life you want to lead? That depends strictly on whether you are able to master your own mind and that voice, the bodyguard voice that's in there, and how you do it and the strategies you have. So yeah, it would be my honor to have everyone listening here get onto that webinar. It is free. I gave it as a gift to everyone because I know what works for me. And now with tens of thousands of my students, and this works, all right? And it works brilliantly, and it works all the time. And all I can tell you, it's a gift. So if people want to get on it, I guess we have a website or something for it. Yeah.
Tell me what the URL is, and we'll make sure it goes in our comments link.
Yeah, and they can go to harveker.com/sage. So Harv Eker, HARVEKER.com/sage, and you find the Don't Believe a Thought You Think free webinar and get on it. It's probably about an hour, but I think from everything that I do, it's the most life-changing hour I could ever think of for anybody. I tell everybody, all my friends and everything who have kids and younger people and whatever, I say, I'm going to give you a website to go to. I want you to send everyone that you know who's not wealthy and super happy to this. And the comments I've gotten back have been extreme. So listen, everybody, there's only one thing stopping you, and it's yourself. But it's not all of yourself. It's just a part of yourself, and dealing with that part of yourself and letting that be able to let that go is the most important thing you could ever learn in your life. So I hope everybody takes advantage of the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Harv. It's very generous and very impactful to millions, and I'm looking forward to listening to it myself. In our remaining time that we have, I'd love to hear what's in your heart to share with us, especially those of us who are on this warrior's path, in the sense that we feel there's a calling, a spiritual calling, an inner calling for us to step up into the world, be more prominent in our gifting, in our efforts to change the world for the better. I'd love to hear what your advice or your direction for us is.
Well, I think coming from my own experience, and again, I think you mentioned, or people might know, I have 3.5 million students around the world. So I have a semi-good idea of what's going on for people, because they all tell me, right? So how come 3.5 million? Yeah, there's things, social media is pretty wild, right? But the first thing is that I think you hit it on the head. You said people feel like they have a calling. They feel like, as you said, the warrior's path, like they have a purpose in life. Well, some people have an inkling of that, and some people have like a should around that. I should have a purpose. I would like to have a purpose, but I really don't know my purpose. Like, am I not a warrior? I don't know my purpose. So they get stuck there first, right? It's the prelude to your question. It's the prelude to the, what do you do? How do you live on purpose? Well, first thing, you have to maybe know you have a purpose or believe you have a purpose. And what is that purpose? So I think for a lot of people right now, they're searching for direction. And that's the first thing to answer. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, am I meant to do something? And here's my opinion. I just use the word very, very strongly. My opinion on this. It's not true. It's not false. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's my experience of it. Do we have a purpose? Well, it depends on your spiritual bent. If you believe there's an intelligent universe, there's your God, there's a higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and you believe that it has given everyone a purpose, then yes, you have a purpose. Okay, what if you don't necessarily believe that? Then do you have a purpose? And the answer is, if you decide you want a purpose, then you have a purpose. If you decide you don't want a purpose, you've got no purpose, okay?
Yes.
Will you be a better person or a happier person with a purpose? In my experience, yes. Why? Because feeling like you do have a reason to be on this earth, feeling like that makes you feel semi-important. And feeling semi-important, not like you're just a piece of rock or a piece of dust on this earth with no rhyme or reason, makes you feel better and happier and more empowered. Yes or yes? So it's not necessarily true, everybody, that you have a purpose, but the result of feeling like you have a purpose for yourself makes you feel more important, makes you feel like you have something to offer, makes you feel like more confident, makes you feel happier, right? All those things, that makes you feel. Now, you don't have to have, you can be happy just maybe boozing it up every day, all night with no purpose. Who cares? And that turns you on, then do it. I don't care. But so is there a purpose for everyone? Shit, I don't know. Is it a good idea from a supportive standpoint to your happiness and success to believe, remember, they're all beliefs, they're not true or false, that you do have a purpose? I believe so, yes, I think so. Would I believe I have a purpose? Absolutely. When I didn't believe that, I was floundering around. Now that I do believe that, and the stronger I believe that, the more successful and the more happier I am. So that's up to you. Great. How do you find that purpose? How do you know it's the purpose? Oh, it's your purpose. In my experience, and we used to do a program called Life Directions, right? So I still think it's on our website somewhere, probably called, it's called Get Rich Doing What You Love, I think. We have a lot of stuff on our website. Oh yeah, we have another free webinar. It's called Passion, Purpose, and Profits. So check that out. We have a lot of free webinars. I think they're really good, so check them out. But how do you know what your purpose is? I think when we're born with an aptitude towards something, a characteristics towards something, and it took me 30 years to find it. I mean, I know. I was always the kind of person that when I was younger, I didn't know what my purpose was, and I really didn't care for a long time. But when I was younger, I recall when I started doing this work. What's that? Yeah. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. When I was younger, I remember going back and looking and go, I'm in the advice business now, or the teaching business right now. I never thought I would be. It never dawned on me. But when I was younger, I remember being 14 years old and being decent at golf and playing with older people and they would be not so good. And I remember I couldn't help myself but to tell them what they were doing wrong. I'd say, excuse me, sir. The guy'd be like 50 and I'd be like 14. But the reason that your ball keeps going out of bounds to the right, it's called a slice, and it's because your left arm's not straight and your right elbow isn't in. If you were to stop putting that elbow up, you wouldn't come across and hit that. And he'd go, whoa, okay, well, who are you, kid? And then all of a sudden he'd do it, and he'd be like, hey, thanks, kid. And I go, well, it's okay. And so and when I was in my 20s, I was a decent skier, and I couldn't help myself. But when I saw people flobbing around, like falling all over the place, and I was near them, I ski up to them. I go, hey, how's it going? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. This is terrible. I mean, I fall every minute. I go, would you like to know why you're falling? Yeah, I guess so. Well, there's a secret. What's the secret? The secret is both of your hands have to be down the hill at all times. As soon as you drop one hand back, that puts your weight on your uphill ski. That'll catch that ski. You will fall. Bye, see you later. I hope you have a great day. And I couldn't help myself. I go, why do you, who are you to mix in? Why are you mixing? Well, what's it your business? I go, I can't help it. The person's struggling. So here I was struggling myself for a full decade in my life financially, not being able to, having to choose for so long whether I would put $5 of gas in my car or eat dinner that night. And it was the worst time of my life. I hated it. But I found the secrets, for financial success around that. And when I started doing those secrets, everything changed for me. So it's no wonder that once I became a millionaire, literally in 2 years, starting with a $2,000 credit card loan, people start asking, oh my God, like you're the same guy that owes me $50. I go, oh, I'm sorry, here's $100. I'm so sorry. I go, how did you do it? I go, well, this is what I used to do and think when I was broke. And this is what I do and think now that I did well and continue to do well. And here's them both to do whatever you want. This is explaining the difference between the two. So I just started doing that. You should teach this. You should tell other people this, because okay. And so it was more organic, you see. And so the same with everybody else. So your purpose and all of that comes from the big question. The big question. Listen to the question, everybody. This is the most important question you can ask yourself if you want to have a purpose, if you want to be fulfilled, if you want to be happy, and if you want to make serious money. Are you ready for the question? Oh, no, we're running out of time. All right, see you, everybody. We'll see you next time. It's okay. It was nice to see us. Here's the question. How can I and how do I want to help people? What a simple question. Remember, you get paid for helping people. Your purpose is all about helping people, right? But the question is, how can I? In other words, what do you have the wherewithal to help people with? How can you? Like, I'm talking about knowledge and skills, right? Or natural talents that you just somehow have. And more importantly is, how do you want to help people? Like, do I want to help people with their personal development, the way that they think about their mind, with their life direction, even with their marketing and their business? Yes, I do. I do. The last book I just wrote, The Good Millionaire, is like, how do I want to help people now? It's like, so many people are thinking rich people are bad. And it's like, I want to write something that's about the good millionaire, and that you actually make your money by helping people. And by helping people, it's how you do it. And I want to take the bad out of the millionaire thing. That's how I want to do. I really want to do that now. So I'm going to write that book, right? So it's, how can I help people? But also, how do I want to? Here's a good example real quick. I have a friend who is an accountant. He's been a numbers guy his whole life. Very, very skilled, one of the top accountants in the country. He has a bit of a change of life mentality now. So the question becomes, how can you help people? Well, I can help them save on taxes. I can help them get their businesses in order. I can help them do that. Great. And then I asked him the question, Jeff, is that how you want to help them? He goes, no. I am so done with that. I'm sick of it. I don't want that. I want to help people get back to their heart. I want to help people who got lost along the way because they graduated college, 30 years ago in this arena, and now they're in that arena, but they've never been fully fulfilled. And I want to help people get back to who they are and help them make a change, like I feel like I'm making. I said, so why don't you just basically report on what's going on for you and how you've made this change. And he's killing it already right now. He's got a blog on this, making the change in your life, going from a skill set to a heart set, like all kind of, but it's the same thing, right? So everybody, those two things have to go together. And I call it your head, your hands, and your heart, the combination of them. Your head is what you know, your hands is what your skills are, and your heart is what you love. Say, how do I find my passion? When they all come together. I'll tell you what, you're not going to be passionate about something you care about, but you're shitty at. You're not going to be passionate about it. Everyone thinks I'm shitty at this. I am shitty at it. I can't help anybody. That passion won't last. But when you come from your heart, you say, I really want to help people with this. This is the problem people are having. I think I can help them, and I want to help them with this. Then you've got it. Then you've got the ticket. So that's my feeling on purpose and on passion and on making changes and on your life direction come from helping people And when you help a lot of people, you end up with a result called what? A lot of money.
One big aho. Aho.
Oh,
Harv, this has been so beautiful, potent, rich. Your passion, your heart, your care is just streaming through here. I'm grateful from the first day I met you all the way through all these years. I'm very grateful to have you as an elder brother, a colleague, a mentor, a friend, and a fellow warrior, sage warrior in the world. So thank you so much for your rich and potent share. Much love to you, your family, and I'm really looking forward to our reunion. So let's make that happen again soon.
and that'd be great. And again, everybody, go to the gift that we're giving you. It's a really great. It'll be a view changer. Okay, don't believe a thought you think. And I believe, again, we said it's at harveker.com/sage, right? And then check everything else out. They're all free webinars. If that topic sings to you, feels like it's something you need in your life right now, then check that out. But I think they're all very strong.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
All
you.
my love and gratitude. Thank you, Warrior Sages. Take this all in. Listen to this multiple times. This is
Bless you, everybody.
much love, brother.
Bye-bye.
See you.